Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're back. Episode number 61. Hopefully, you guys can hear us this time. It's
Yeah.
looking good on our end, but who knows? I'm sure we'll have somebody jump in and help us out here in a second. Um, while you're doing that, Ben, let's start with the news. There's two of us
Okay.
tonight, and then you can go back into your news you're talking about that you were talking
Yeah.
earlier, but we had no audio. But
Right, right,
go ahead.
right. So I wanted to add on then too.
Start from the beginning.
Okay, so I'll add on top of that. So Ready Player 2 is going to be an actual thing, the sequel to Ready Player 1.
Okay.
Ernest Cline is actually looking forward to writing the second novel while they're making the actual second movie. So that's going to be pretty wild. They said, I think the one article said it was November roughly that something's going to be coming out and about for it. But besides that, it's Javicia Leslie is casted as the new Batwoman. Uh, representing the LGBTQ community. She is bisexual. It really works out for the character Kate Kane because there has been some speculation and it has been confirmed in later series that she is bisexual. Batwoman is. Then we also have Gary Larson coming back from from retirement from the Far Side. That he's indicating that yes, I finally hit stride. I'm getting back into drawing the comics like I used to, but it's not going to be on a daily basis because he stopped syndication of his daily strips in 1995. So I'm really looking forward to that, especially with being a big fan of Gary Larson's stuff. Again, it's the Far Side. You're going to see some wacky stuff from this guy. Definitely look into his work. It's definitely worth your time, especially the cow inventions, which is pretty crazy. So, um, yeah. And finally, last but not least, that I have is Sega's releasing what is called the Mini Astro City. If people don't know what that is, which I don't expect them to, that is a mini arcade cabinet that's about yay tall and yay wide, and it also has a lot of games on it, like the original Golden Axe 2, Revenge of Death Adler, some other ones then besides, but that's coming out in Japan for roughly $118, roughly $120. And the funny thing about that is some dude actually made one before Sega did. So it actually plays like more games like Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter, and it's beautiful and like has the nice click action with the buttons and the joystick. So I'm really looking forward to that. I would definitely buy it in a heartbeat, just the way that everything looks on it. It just looks exactly like it would if you saw it in an arcade or a video game tournament.
Perfect. This just broke a half hour before the show started. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch is canceled by Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah, Andy's
Wow.
gonna be upset about that one. So that just broke. Tom Holland teases returning to film with a video of coronavirus testing. I guess so they're gonna start doing some Spider-Man filming soon.
Okay, cool.
Well, the cool thing about the new Batwoman too is she's also gonna be African American,
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Very pretty indeed.
Yeah, gorgeous girl. Crash Bandicoot could be launching on mobile as well very soon.
Oh boy. We
Nintendo
know.
Is bringing Donkey Kong Country to the Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, there you go. Oh, wow. Like back in the tournament days when they had them way back when.
Yep. I know the teaser trailer for Halloween was released.
Oh yeah, the new one is going to be coming out in 2021.
Yeah. So if you did not see the new Halloween, the ending was they locked him in the basement, trapped him, and then burnt the house down.
Yeah.
And then as they're driving away
They're
the scene,
wondering.
the fire department is going there to save the house, and she's screaming,
wow.
"Let it burn! Let it burn!" So yeah, that's coming. I believe that Netflix is doing. It's coming soon. The season 2 of Umbrella Academy.
Yes.
Coming very soon.
Yes. That is very soon from the looks of it here. So, July 31st this month.
Yes.
Wow. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't really get into Umbrella Academy. I kind of want to get into it. So
Yeah. So and then the last bit of news I have, we'll talk for a little bit here and do some debating. Is play Xbox. Suppose all right. Well, not just Xbox. I'll open up this way so I don't get accused for being a fanboy. Um, but WB Games is looking to sell,
Oh wow.
and the two of the three companies that I heard that are going for, I don't know the third, but the two companies are Activision that's looking to buy,
Mm,
and EA Games are looking to buy WB Games.
wow. Okay. I would rather have Activision get it just solely because I know
I don't
how.
like either one of those.
I mean, I know it's the whole debate of picking the lesser of two evils, but I don't want to see it go to EA Games
Yeah,
realistically because like they just pump money into stuff and they just like lose out on money anyway.
yeah.
So it wouldn't even be worth them buying it. I know what they're gonna do to it, like to the WB Games.
You'll force them to come out every year, and they'll be unfinished product games.
Yeah, and I mean Activision. Like, there's a lot of Activision games that came out and about, and even the Call of Duty games are like that then too.
Yeah,
So,
Call of Duty gets most of the attention there.
hmm
But there's a fourth player joining the fray here of possibly buying the studio,
oh boy,
and that's Xbox.
oh boy.
Um, Now, when people hear Xbox is going to be buying these titles,
hmm
that doesn't necessarily mean they will be exclusive.
So what does it actually mean? I'm
So,
slightly confused.
so
with that.
Xbox bought Minecraft,
Okay,
but left Minecraft on every platform. They
okay.
didn't make Minecraft exclusive. They can,
Hmm.
but they know they're not going to get as much money as if they, you know what I mean? If they,
So they have some like back alleyway where they're like, hey, we'll buy you out, but you can release it on the other platforms,
Mhm.
but a portion
and
of
we'll
our
give you the
money,
money to keep
your
the,
money is
yeah.
to us.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So when you hear that Xbox buys WB, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be exclusive. It's
hmm
very very possible.
hmm
One of the things that Xbox got shit on for the last couple of years is you have no exclusive games.
hmm
So on top of, I believe, I don't have the exact numbers, but let's say 15 studios they
hmm
have just recently acquired, which is I think I think they got PlayStation beat by like 6 studios now. They have six
Oh
more
wow,
studios than
yeah.
PlayStation.
I know that one of them was Pandemic that Microsoft bought. It was
Yeah.
like way back when.
And they're
That's
looking to
digging back.
supposedly add 2 to 3 more studios plus this big announcement.
Oh
So this
wow.
big announcement may be acquiring WB Games. So you may see Batman be exclusive to Xbox, where
hmm
Spider-Man's exclusive to Sony, which would
Yeah.
be interesting.
Yeah, I know Andy and I were talking about. I'm a little bit iffy. Like I know with with Rocksteady being bought out because I think they would like to be their own studio. But I mean, the way that you explained it, it kind of makes
Yeah,
sense
Rocksteady
with
is
everything's going.
incorporated with WB.
Yeah,
So is
yeah.
NetherRealms Games, which is the Mortal
Mm.
Kombat. Mortal Kombat can possibly an Xbox exclusive.
So we're gonna have a Disney monopoly of sorts, but with consoles.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's very possible.
that's ugly. You're gonna see Bill Gates with like the Infinity Gauntlet of all the for the Microsoft freaking studios. Oh man.
Yeah. And that also will entail the Lord of the Rings games
Mm.
and also the Harry Potter games.
Oh wow. Yeah,
So
huge game changer
that
there.
would be huge for Xbox. So going into this, once again, I don't have all the numbers, but going into what we already know,
Mhm.
Xbox did their third-party showcase.
Mhm.
I think 3 or 4 of the games, just kind of throwing a number out there, Xbox turned around and said, "We want to make those exclusive." So the rumor is some of those games that were shown is going to be
Mhm.
Xbox exclusive only.
Mhm.
PlayStation did their lineup and showed about 9. We'll just say 9 exclusive games.
Mhm.
So going into what we know now for this next generation console, Sony has confirmed 9 exclusive games. That's not
Mhm.
including timed releases or anything like that. And
Mhm.
I believe Xbox is right on pace with them for the same number of games
Mhm.
announced for the system as we know right now.
Mhm.
Now going into this month on the 23rd,
Mhm.
there's a shit ton more Xbox is going to show off.
Mhm.
So going into by the end of this month, Xbox will possibly be showing that it's the more powerful system and it has the more exclusive games going into this holiday season.
Yeah. I think it's more going to be like a big dick contest when it comes to it. It's like
Well, listen,
it's going to be it's going to be strategic, which is going to be really nice from both of them.
They've been getting beat up for a while, saying this is what you've been
Hey,
lacking, and now they're
yeah.
flipping the script.
No, I don't have no problem with that. I really don't.
It's going to
Like,
be interesting.
because you're saying that they're coming out with another conference, and then eventually there's going to be another conference, but
So
from Sony, and
so
it's going to be a nice build up.
there's going to be a bunch of conferences coming from now till then. So you're going to have WB doing their own conference. You're going to have DC Comics is doing their own thing.
Yeah.
You're going to have Ubisoft going to do their own conference. All these people that would do it would be on E3 are now going to do their own thing, leading up to the console generation.
And it is a smart thing for them to do that, especially. I mean, like, look at the Nintendo Directs. Look at look at some of the other ones, like from like E3. You're waiting for everything forever, like for 3 hours versus one day where it's one specific company. That's a definite smart move, in my opinion, from the developers.
Yeah.
So that's really going to help out big time because, oh man, you even know about it too. You're waiting for like Bethesda or something like that, like way down the line. Well, at least I would be. You're waiting it down the line, and it's just like, come on, like get to the program. You know?
And that's something I'm very interested to see what Microsoft does with this show.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft has been notorious for being a company that says, listen, we'll take the hit and take the rap, saying we won't show you games because we know they're way far out of production.
Yeah.
But then their counterpart, Sony, will show a game 3 years out of production and show it for the next 3 years and keep the hype building. And then Microsoft tried it once. I forget the name of the game. It was that dragon game where the guy had like the Beats headphones on, and it got scrapped in production. It was really supposed to be like a popular JRPG style game.
Huh.
Where you fought dragons and stuff like that.
You know what? I don't recall.
I think it was Dragon Scale. I think that might have been what it's called. Yeah. So will they come out and be like, hey, here's a game. Here's Gears 5. It's 3 years away, but here's what we have shown off. Here's what we could show off so far. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what they do. They're saying that the rumor is, this is what all the online rumors are, is that this next conference is going to show roughly 100 games.
Oh, wow. And that's just from Microsoft.
That's not exclusive. That they're going to show off 100 games is what the rumor is.
Okay.
Now, the cool thing about this conference that they're doing as well is because the media, and I hope this is something that sticks, the media, when you go to E3 and then the media and the general public go to these conferences, they get to play games that are way out. Like games that are probably in early beta stages.
Yeah.
Games that are very close to releasing. Games that are maybe a couple months away, a couple of years. You know what I mean? So there's a wide variety of games that these media people can go play and talk about and say, hey, I'm going to get behind this game. It's not coming out for a while, but really get their hands on it and feel it out. Starting, I think, July 21st to the 27th, Xbox is going to release over 100 game titles on Xbox Live.
Wow.
No, in one shot.
Oh, wow.
And then you have from the 21st to the 27th
to play those.
To play and download these demos. Some of them may come back out down the line. So I guess what Xbox is looking to do is they have this Microsoft ID games. And what these ID games are is like independent games. Sometimes in those games, you can buy them at a cheaper price now, kind of like a GoFundMe. And then when the game's done, you get the full release.
Oh, wow.
So they're looking to possibly release more of these games down the line and say, hey, we'll use our platform to help you make money. Oh, shit. Can you hit the button up there? I don't know why it does that.
Oh, hang on. Ugh.
Right here, right? Yep. No. Stop button. On the other side.
Hang on.
It's a start, stop.
Start, stop right here?
I'll get it.
No. Oh, I found it.
Hopefully that'll keep it recording. All right.
Well, that got a little goofy. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's not gonna work either fucking well.
Got a little
So that's
phased
gonna
out
be
there.
annoying. All right, so this will be the last time we ever use this camera.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I can't. We're not gonna keep fucking getting up and hitting a
Yeah,
button.
right, right.
We'll just deal with it this show, and then the
Mhm.
next show we'll bring the webcam back down.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You're saying about the exclusives, how you can buy download them and buy them, then
Yeah.
afterwards to help out the
the developers.
developers.
So there's a lot of games that you're gonna be able to try out that are coming out soon. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this next Xbox conference. I'm gonna be honest, not just
Mhm.
because I'm more bought into the Xbox ecosystem.
Mhm.
It's just that I'm pumped to see what they do.
Mhm.
And then some of the rumors are leaking about the Xbox Series S, which I
Mhm.
believe is called Lockhart.
Mm.
Supposedly, it's going to be around the power of the PS5, but half the cost of the Xbox Series X.
Oh wow.
So this is now it's only going to have the 4 teraflops. Now the PS5 and the Xbox Series X,
Mhm.
the Xbox One
Mhm.
X, has I think 8 teraflops, and it reduced it in half. But they are saying with the new technology. Now I'm not a tech guy, and this is all
Yeah, I get you.
speculation. What
Yeah.
I'm looking at. This is not me saying Team flying Team Microsoft flag. This is just what I've been hearing and stuff I've been reading. Is I guess with the new technology,
Mhm.
they can reduce the teraflops but still put out the power and other things because of the way the chip in the system is designed.
Yeah.
So this Xbox Series S will be half the cost of this Xbox, the new Xbox coming out, and still be a upgrade from your Xbox, the Pro version of your
Yeah.
Xbox
Yeah.
One. So what the rumors are is Xbox is looking to come in with the Xbox around $400.
Oh wow.
Um,
Not
kind of
doing bad at
knowing
all.
that PlayStation probably has to come in around 5
Mhm.
because of how much the system costs and stuff,
Yeah.
and then to release a system that's going to give you the next gen graphics,
Mhm.
maybe not the same power, but it will still give you the next gen graphics and still be a very impressive machine at a $200 cost point. So someone who is maybe looking to say I'm gonna buy both systems this generation, right? So like
Mhm.
myself, I'm gonna buy the Xbox. I'll probably buy the beefier Xbox and then get the discless PlayStation 5. Where
Mhm.
you're gonna turn around and say, you know what, this might be the generation I might want to dip my toes into Microsoft.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you now, or Microsoft's gonna turn around and say, cool, well, welcome to our ecosystem. Here's a $200 system that will give you the same power as this new console generation, but literally half the cost. That's going to make it easier buy for you
It's
later
gonna
on down
be
the
it's
road.
gonna be a huge difference. It's really gonna divide
Yeah, and if you don't have the
people.
4K TV, if you don't
Mhm.
have if you don't really care about the processors, you don't
Mhm.
really care about the
You
graphic
just want to
fidelity,
play just to
you
play.
just want the new system to play these new games and still have the ability to go back and play the backwards compatibility
Yeah.
to really buy into Microsoft's ecosystem.
Mhm.
For a $200 price point for a launch system, if that's the case, that's huge.
Mhm.
That's
Oh,
real. That's
definitely.
big. That's a big. So if PlayStation comes in at diskless at $400,
Mhm.
and then $500 for the disk drive, and then Xbox is coming out with the same speeds and same power,
Mhm.
but at a $200 price range,
Mhm.
that's serious.
Mhm.
It'd be really interesting to see how they push that system.
Yeah, for real.
And supposedly it's going to be the same look as what you have now for the Xbox.
Mm.
It's not going to be that tower system. It's going to kind of be like what it looks like right now.
Okay. All right.
I don't. That's just once again rumors.
Yeah, and you really have to sift through the crap then too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just the way that it goes.
A lot of the places I get my sources from,
Mhm.
they're almost like it's kind of like when you're listening to Insider Wrestling, you
Mhm.
know who to listen to and who not to listen to.
Mhm.
That's kind of who I've been like dealing with so
Gotcha,
far.
yeah.
Every single thing they've been saying so far leading up that I've been telling you guys in the chat
Mhm.
that have been happening
Mhm.
have come from these sources,
Mhm.
and so I'm pretty certain some of these are pretty dead nuts on.
Mhm.
Fable is almost a guarantee the way it's looking, and
I wouldn't doubt that.
Perfect Dark is looking to be almost a guarantee at this point as
I
well.
wouldn't doubt that either.
So it'd be really cool to see exactly what they show off this
Mhm.
this generation.
It is definitely going to be interesting for real. So.
Yeah. So I'm pumped to see how it goes.
Mhm.
I think if Xbox swoops in and picks up WB Games,
That really is going to be a game changer for real.
I'm really curious of how people who have been anti Xbox because of these reasons, what their new reasons are going to be to hate the system if they turn around and they've doubled the exclusive games list over their competitor, and they beat them in power, which were the two things they've been shit on since the 360.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. It's kind of been like, all right, you've been, and it's crazy to think that they've been the underdog, and Microsoft is like the echelon of when it comes to electronics and gaming stuff. You know.
And like for me, like it does matter, but it necessarily doesn't matter. Like if there's like I said, like exclusives and what have you. I mean, I'm still gonna get those systems, and like for me, like I've been getting systems for years now. Like I eventually would get all three systems. Like at that point in time, you know what I mean. It's
Well, you
not
skipped
like
out on the Xbox this generation.
yeah, I did. I did with that one, but I don't know. Like it was just I don't know. Maybe at some point in time I'll pick it up when it's a little bit cheaper.
Well, you don't have to at this point because
Oh yeah,
all those games
yes,
will carry over.
yeah,
So I mean, unless you want to collect the system.
yeah. Well, I'm that guy, but
Yeah, but even from a collecting standpoint, you don't with the way Xbox is handling their business now, you don't have to.
yeah,
You can literally skip a generation, and it's just a more powerful. You know what I mean? Which I think is it's a weird thing to think about, and people are like, well, why do they just do that? But from another standpoint, it's like, well, that's nice that they let you carry all that stuff over.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I can only imagine like for resale value for people that are trying to pick up those systems, that's going to be like the next like PlayStation where you can literally pick it up for like $5.
Yeah.
You know, like down the line because believe me, when you're trying to buy PlayStations, they're not even like the old school PlayStations. They're like a $5 system easy.
I think I was one of the main reasons why PlayStation has been beating Xbox out in the console sales because I bought the PS4 I think 4 times. Because I buy it and then I sell it and then I go buy it again because they slatch me with another exclusive and then I'm like, fuck this, I don't have the money for both systems, and I sell it and then I go buy another one. And so I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. Like, but I've never sold or traded in my Xbox.
Yeah.
It's just because I really hate the fact when people are against something but don't give the other side of the coin a look. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to be unbiased by purchasing both and playing both and dipping my
I get
toes
you,
into
yeah.
both. Yeah.
I'm just that type that I can look into it. Like I'm that type of gamer where I can look into everybody. You know what I mean? So it's just like you're preaching to the choir when it comes to
Yeah,
when it
100%.
comes to me, and that's why I'm like stone faced the whole time. You're like, oh, Xbox this, Xbox. I'm like, man, they're just gaming systems to me. It's like, hey,
I think
if you
it's good
come out with a better product, hey, fine, I'll admit it. But at like the same time,
it's good to have
yeah,
competition.
Yeah,
I mean, look at pro wrestling right now. Pro wrestling's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic because there's competition.
I was gonna make a comparison to like with gimmicks then too with how Xbox the way that they are, like how they were getting shit on then too. Like it's like, would you rather have Macho Man Randy Savage go out and Ric Flair's music and pull off Ric Flair's freaking gimmick? You know what I mean? Like they always have, like, Sony and Microsoft have their shtick when they stick to it. You know, and like when Xbox try to change stuff to it, it's kind of like that comparison. You know what I mean?
It's funny because like a lot of the things that Xbox said they were going to change, they turn around and like everyone shit on them for it, and then you fast forward like 10 years from there, and we're almost at the exact same point of what Microsoft said they were going to do in the first place because they knew that's where the tide was going. But
they were kind of like the Rock in some
They
sorts.
just didn't do the presentation very well.
Right. Yeah. So it was like it's like the Rock now, like way back in the day, and then he got much better when he turned heel. Then
the only thing that was a huge sticking point, and Andy brought up last time, was how they were going to do. You know, you couldn't put another game into another system at work.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't do that. But I mean, how most of the time you have to almost always be online to play nowadays. You can't just really put your system on and play.
Yeah.
The fact that there's diskless versions of systems that they said was going to be a mistake. Digital only games.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is just all stuff that people are like, no way, we're not ready for that. And here we are 10 years later, and that's where we're going.
Yeah, I'm really glad that the both systems are doing the disc versions because you'd like that. I like the physical media, and I just believe that, like, if, say, for example, the discless system takes the shit, like, I mean, yeah, you can get those games back, but at the same time, though, you have to get a whole new console. It's more money, or if you want to repair it, then too, and then if it happens again,
you're less likely to have a system take a shit because usually the first thing that goes in the system is the disk drive and the laser. I mean.
But they could be replaced though too. But
Yeah.
I mean, you have to really have
That's
a
one
knack
less
for it though.
component in
Yeah.
a car. You know what I mean? Like one less
Yeah.
component that's gonna break in your system.
Yeah. But you have these idiots that have the systems in like a tightly contained area where they can't get the
Yeah.
air out. Then too.
Yep.
That's what happened. Well, that's what happened with Microsoft. How like they used like I forget like they used like thermal paste or something like that, and that's where the Red Ring of Death came from because people were having them in the. Well,
Well,
that was just
I
a
mean that
little bit of
helped.
it.
That helped the red ring happen faster, being
Yeah.
contained. But
Yeah.
no, they knew they were. I mean, the old Microsoft, they knew they were putting out a faulty machine.
Hmm.
It was like an unwritten secret.
I think it was funny because I had a system. I had my 360, and I didn't play it for like I got back from college and I didn't play it for like the longest time, and that was when the Red Ring of Death was like going crazy. And then I'm like, I was way out of the warranty. I had to pay like $100, and they fixed it. And I'm like,
Really? See,
yeah.
I had. It depended how you dealt with it. Because I know people
Hmm.
who were out, didn't have a warranty and would contact Microsoft and they'd be like, "Send it, we'll fix it." And then sometimes you went to the store because there
Hmm.
was a weird thing where you had to
Because
take
this was like a year after that.
Yeah.
They were covered in like I think it was like a 6 or 7 month warranty or something like that when it actually happened. I was
Mhm.
like way beyond it. I think
Yeah.
it was maybe a year and a half, 2 years maybe,
Yeah,
and that was like
but here's
way
the thing
out.
too, like that the 360 was a fantastic system, but
Yeah, I don't
the initial
disagree with that.
360 was the snap-on hard drive and stuff like it had a lot of
Yeah.
features to it that were like once they came out with the next version of the 360
Hmm.
that got rid of the red ring and kind of righted the wrongs and I
Yeah.
mean the original Xbox 360 didn't have an HDMI port,
Hmm.
which was crazy to think about.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
still component. So yeah, there's a lot of weird things there. And then once they kind of righted that ship, it was a good system. And
Hmm.
then the ownership kind of still showed that they weren't capable, and they fired that guy and put Phil Spencer in, and he's
Hmm.
been fantastic ever since.
And it was nice that knowing that you can actually transfer from that new 360 to from the old one with the ports and all that then
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
which
they had
was really
the
nice.
transfer cables and stuff.
Yeah, that was really nice. I never really did it. I would like to do that, like maybe even upgrade. Well, like you said, I don't have to, but I would like to have just a
There
system
are
just to
certain
do.
games that if you still have installed on your 360,
Hmm.
as long as you don't delete them, they'll stay there.
Hmm.
I have a couple games like I think I have Turtles in Time. I have
Hmm.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Like I have like a handful of games on my 360 that are still installed.
Yeah,
That if I uninstall them, they're gone.
yeah. That I have Scott Pilgrim versus the World too, and I kick myself in the ass every time because they had the X-Men arcade game, and also it was the
Simpsons.
Simpsons.
I had both them and uninstalled them.
Missed them out completely. So
I
pissed.
paid for them, uninstalled them, and lost them.
That's like yeah, I'd be a little bit devastated with that because they're good party games
Hmm.
too,
Yeah.
and like I know like certain games like I know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, they had a high definition remake on the PlayStation. It was like out in 2019. It had like a very short run. I tried searching. I really wanted to download on my PlayStation 4 and play online, but forget it now.
Yeah, if you guys are watching in the replay on the video, also the links are below if you're listening to audio only. We have all of our social media tabs up there. So if you want to follow us on Twitch, it's IWEP Podcast. We are trying to go for the, actually, it's above my head
Up.
right here. We're trying to go for the 50 followers to get affiliated so we can do cool stuff there. So the way this is going to go now, we're going to stream on Twitch and Facebook the night the shows happen on Tuesday nights.
Hmm.
And then on Thursday nights we'll do the wrestling show, and then on Fridays we'll do banging beers,
Hmm.
and then the interviews with everyday people will just be. Well, I still have a whole bunch of those in the backlog recorded, so
Yeah,
that's going to be audio only for quite a bit, for probably until August,
I got you.
and
Yeah,
then once that's over, I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start opening the doors for interviews again, but
yeah.
the interviews are gonna be Zoom calls, so it's gonna be
Okay,
we'll do something over the phone, so you don't have to physically be here.
okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to go out. Some people do. But
Yeah.
you gotta appease.
Yeah, so we have a lot of cool stuff in the works. I really hope you guys are excited for it.
The cheese banging beers streamed. Oh my god, that's
Yeah,
fun. That'll be fun.
I'm nervous. Not gonna lie.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous.
No, we were pretty civil the last couple times. I mean,
We'll see.
more f bombs than we should have. But I mean,
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We have that wild card in the show.
yeah.
Um,
Hey, as you look at me.
no, not you at all.
No.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes down, and we'll get to finally address the the topic of discussion for banging beers.
Oh
We kind of
yeah.
addressed it on social media, but I'm not going to dive too much into it. But I think
Yeah,
I
we're
think
gonna really talk into what be.
I think I'm going to address it a little bit now, but not so much. So obviously,
That's fair enough.
there we had a logo controversy on banging beers where the guy we commissioned to do art. Um, Unbeknownst to us, a couple
Yeah.
weeks after or a month after he did our art, he did some art of his own, and it was uh,
Pretty
controver-
fucking bad.
It was
Pretty fucking
it was
bad.
controversial. He depict. Well, here's the thing. He didn't really describe what his art really meant. What I got from it is I think he's buying into a conspiracy theory.
Hmm.
I don't think this is just my opinion. I don't think, like, to me, it didn't seem like it was like, I don't think what's going on in the world is not a thing. I just
Hmm.
think a lot of it is backed by the wrong media, because the whole George Soros imagery
Yeah.
is trying to say that it's more that tinfoil hat thing. You know what I mean?
Like
Like a
yeah.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
He may be, he may be racist. I don't think so. I just don't like throwing that term out all the time, because I
Hmm.
think it's like it's I think it's just too easily thrown out, and then
I was just gonna say
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But listen, I don't condone what the art was. I don't
Mm-mm.
think it was. I don't. It doesn't agree with my views.
Hmm.
But here's the thing, and I think my dad summed it up the best when we were talking. He goes, "This show, was very inspired by Joe Rogan for me, and but even before that, it was really inspired by Howard Stern.
Hmm.
And there's one thing with Howard Stern that I always really enjoyed,
Hmm.
is he was open to have conversations with everyone."
Yeah.
And every person who became a personality on his show was
Hmm.
allowed to be their own person.
Hmm.
Now, with that being said, if someone who is on my show and they have a different view from me,
Hmm.
I'm not going to have an issue with it. But if you do something detrimental to yourself or the imagery of the show,
Hmm.
there can be repercussions to that.
Oh,
So I don't want to
definitely.
say that if you come on, if you're part of my stable and you're part of my team, you must abide by what I believe and what I feel, because I don't
Hmm.
want to be that. Because I think one of the beautiful things about our show, and I think about our country, is we do have that freedom. And
Yeah.
I don't want it to be, because we're getting into a really scary territory where I feel is if you don't have the same views as someone else,
Hmm.
you are immediately labeled as a bad person,
Hmm.
or insert whatever stereotype somebody wants to attach to you,
Yeah.
whether it be insert phobic, insert racism, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I don't think that's the way to go about it. If someone generally doesn't, now listen, if someone is generally those things and they say, "Hey, I don't like these people because of this reason,"
Hmm.
then you fit that bill. But if you say, "Hey, I don't understand this,"
Hmm.
then that's when you need to have an open dialogue and be willing to talk to one another. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
And I think that's really like again, like people, like I said, like past few shows, people don't want to be wrong, and like a lot of the debates, they really drive. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pull everything, throw the baby out of the with the bathwater. That type of deal.
Yeah.
And realistically, that's really not the way that it should go. It
Hmm.
really should be a civil conversation, understanding those different viewpoints. I know I keep preaching that, but at the
Yeah.
same time, though, everybody's got to learn, how people think,
Yeah.
and you're just trying to educate them in that aspect by telling them your viewpoints and why it may or may not be wrong.
Hmm.
So that's really what it comes down to. And
Yeah. So I definitely want people to have their own opinions and have
yes,
their own views and like there might be things I'm into that you may not be. It just
yeah,
goes with anything.
yeah,
But I want people to have their own identity,
hmm,
but also if you come on here and say some stuff that can detriment, like if like obviously with terms and conditions of social media platforms, you
hmm,
can't say certain things.
right, right,
And if you do, you have your channel can be removed. So
right,
if someone is on a part of this show and thinks they're going to come on and say those things, I
yeah.
won't tolerate that.
Oh,
Like, and if
definitely.
and like once going into this too, I really want to make this clear: is if you if you are part of this show and you are openly like and you don't like people of color, or you don't like someone because of their skin color
Hmm.
or their race or their sexuality, I really don't want that around.
Right.
First off, I don't want you in my home because
Hmm.
a I
Why bring
Well,
that negativity in the
I
first
mean, I'm
place?
part of an interracial marriage,
Yeah.
first off, and then the sexuality thing is really no one's business. But
Mhm.
that's something that is part of my family and part
Yeah.
of the people around me. I have
Yeah.
friends who are that, and I just don't tolerate that shit.
Right.
So that's the only two things. But if you come on here and you have your own religious beliefs, or you think there's a conspiracy that you think that I'll listen. I speak your mind. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Maybe not on camera, but you're allowed to be your person.
Mhm.
But if you go on social media and so tomorrow, just an example, you go on social media tomorrow, Ben, and you turn around and say, F this, I hate this, and this, and this, and everyone
Mhm.
turns around and goes, well, you know what I mean? And you're clearly in the wrong, or you're
Mhm.
clearly have a view that's
Yeah.
way out there.
Yeah.
I may be like, Ben, I think we've hit our terms. You know what I mean? I don't dislike you as a person, but I don't think I could rock with you with the show. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't want to say that you can go and do whatever you want on social media, but
Mhm.
I do. It's like I said. There's no black and white. There's gray area. I do want you to be your own person,
Yeah,
but
be within
if you're
reason.
extremist, I'm not dealing with that.
Be within reason and, be understanding
Yeah.
about stuff.
Here's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
get that.
You can have
Yeah.
your own opinion and your own views, but I need you to be open minded.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really ask to be on the show is be open
Mhm.
minded. Don't be closed minded. Be like everything sucks. I hate the world.
Mhm.
And just in general. That's because there's no banter. There's no riffraff there. If you or there's no not riffraff. There's no back
Mhm.
and forth there if you just completely close everything off.
Mhm. No,
Yeah.
totally get you on
And
that.
I'm really trying to use my words properly here because I know I get criticized a lot for not saying the correct terminology or words, but I don't have anything scripted here. I'm just speaking from my heart. And that's kind of how I do every single show. I don't go into it really prepared. I
And
just
it,
kind of riff and I
and
talk to my
going
buddies.
and going through life, it's a learning process and
Dude,
just trying to
there's
expand on
things
stuff and
there's
things.
things in my brain that I just picked up a week ago because I'm trying to always learn other sides of the coin. I'm always
Yeah.
trying to figure out why. So there's topics I may have a different view on
Mhm.
next week, or there may be something like and I. So if you turn around and tell somebody I think you're this because you don't believe what I believe,
Mhm.
tell that person where they can get the information that you got.
Mhm.
Let them do it to themselves,
Yeah,
and
and
then
see what they have to say
and
about it.
if they still disagree with you, at least they tried to open their minds and say,
Yeah.
hey, listen,
That's
I still don't. I'm still not drinking your Kool Aid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, totally get you on that. Yeah. Sometimes you don't have the words, the proper word, like you said, you're the proper wording, and you're like, hey, like you really got to be careful anymore when you.
And I don't like that.
I know.
And I
I
think
know.
that's what kills. What's killing the divide is people aren't willing or they're not able to speak to one another freely because
Mhm.
everyone's walking on fucking eggshells around each other. Because if you do or say the wrong thing,
Mhm.
if you're once again, if you're extreme right and you're extreme left,
Mhm.
I think you're both kind of fucking crazy. Like,
Mhm.
you can't be just one lane. Like, there's got to be fucking give or take. Like,
Yeah,
you know
there
what I mean?
has to be like a little
Exactly.
over at
And,
least.
and,
Yeah.
and it's just like, if you don't believe what I believe, then you're the fucking enemy. And if you don't believe what I believe, you're the enemy. And then you have that majority of us that are kind of in the middle who really don't say a word because if they speak up, they get attacked by the far right and they get attacked
Mhm.
by the far left.
Yeah.
And then it's like, God forbid if you create something or you're part of something that you're trying to build up, it's like, well, then you're got to be canceled because you don't believe what we believe.
It's the grander scheme of things,
It's just
Tony.
disgusting.
I
It's
know.
absolutely disgusting.
I know. I know. I hate it too. I mean, you see people that you really care about and they're like that way, and it really digs into your, in your emotions in a
Yeah.
way, because you've
And
dealt with these people for how many years, and it's just like, wow.
And that's the thing too. Like, if I truly care about you, and I do think that your viewpoints are off,
Mhm.
I will try to have and not so much to sway you, but just to understand why, and maybe tell you what I've learned. Maybe because I'm like,
Mhm.
how you feel does kind of affect. It could affect our friendship in the future.
Mhm.
And there are people who I have cut ties with.
Mhm.
There's family who I'm probably like, if I never see you again, I'm not going to be upset about it because
Mhm.
you're hateful. I can't tolerate that.
Mhm.
Like, if you legit have a hate for somebody because you watch the news, I can't rock with you. I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't. You can't turn around and say to me that you don't like people of race because of people because of their race, but then say I welcome you and your wife into my home and let's have dinner. No, no, no. You can't pick and choose. If
Mhm.
you don't like everyone, but hey, you're cool. No, we're not. We're not cool because you know what I mean. Like,
You're forcing yourself to tolerate it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's not acceptable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, the the reason we have the fights and the movements we had for integration and segregate, like all that, and bringing people together, and Martin Luther King fighting what he fought for. He wasn't just doing it for black people. He was doing it for every race. You know what I mean? Like interracial marriages was not cool. And he opened that door. You know what I mean? I may not be dating someone that's black, but my wife is Asian. You know what I mean? And before, and her father was Asian, and her mother was white. Those things would have never been able to happen without these movements and without people standing up and saying, you're fucking wrong. And let us pretty much what I'm saying is, I want everyone to have a fucking fair shake at life.
Yeah.
Regardless of your color,
Right.
your religion, you're
really looking at the
sexuality.
equality. You're looking at the equality aspect of it.
Freedom is freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom does not stop when you get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's all, and that goes for both sides of the spectrum. Because I think we're entering a dangerous territory where, like I said, the far right and the far left. If you don't agree with me, I don't want you to have your opinion, and you should be shut down for your opinions and your views because you don't agree with me, and that's not freedom. Each side are calling each other Nazis because they want full dictatorship, and sometimes the extremists they do. If you don't believe or like what they do, it is a complete shutdown of.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's scary.
Like, I know that I've been watching some interviews then too. Like, I know there was one clip with Don Lemon from CNN and Terry Crews. How Terry Crews is kind of like, expressing his opinion. You should look that up.
Well, this is also Terry Crews, the guy who weighs almost 250 pounds of 280 pounds of solid muscle.
Yeah.
Who was sexually assaulted and people laughed at him.
Yeah, and like I definitely see where he's coming from with that aspect. It could go the other way, big time, 100%. I agree. I do agree with that. I just feel like that he didn't have the words to really convey it well enough, and Don was just like, well, this, and he just like, Don just freaking hammered him pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was on CNN, so you can look up the clip. I mean, to me at least, I think there are some valid points in between the both. Like, obviously there's valid points and knowledge that's there, but at the same time though,
I try to stay away from all news sources. They're just fucking, because there's no middle ground. It's just all fucking.
Like you said, like Terry Crews, sexually assaulted, being a 280-pound
solid muscle
dude,
looks like a fucking Greek god.
Yeah,
and got made fun of because he came out and said something happened to me.
Yeah, and he's just being truthful. I think he's honestly he seems like a really good guy.
Yeah,
flat out. Like, put it this way, I'll give you a beer, Terry.
Yeah, probably ruin your physique, but all right, let's get into what we're watching, what we're into.
Sure. I'll go. You go ahead, Tony.
You're on
a roll.
I haven't really watched too much, or at least I don't remember. I should probably start writing stuff down. We started watching a movie that I'll let Ben talk about.
Sure.
And halfway through the movie, I fell asleep, so I did not get to finish it. But I've been streaming a lot. Streaming Call of Duty, trying to work on some guns, finishing camos on guns so I can get gold. I don't know, it's stupid. Even I'm trying to describe it, it's just stupid. But I've been streaming a lot. Okay. I've been streaming a lot here on Twitch, meeting really cool people, and finding communities of streamers and stuff, which is really fun. Yeah. I did finish my first solo campaign game in a long time.
Ooh.
I finished Hellblade.
Ooh, yeah, you were. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. That's pretty cool.
It's a freaky game, man. So the game starts. You're this girl.
Before we continue, how long did it take you to beat it?
2 or 3 days.
Okay, so how many hours? Like 12, 16?
Maybe
20?
8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I streamed one day for like an hour, and the next day for like 3 hours, and the next day another 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember it went quick.
You ripped through it pretty quick.
Yeah, because I was set on it, like it was gonna happen. So yeah, the game. I wish I could really describe it because I'm still trying to process it and try to figure out what actually happened.
I got you.
But you play as this girl named Senu or something like that. She has a weird name, but it's all based on like Greek and Roman mythology.
Okay.
And she has her parents, and her this male lover, and throughout the course of it, everyone kind of has been perished. No one really know. You don't really know where the human civilization is, or if she's just kind of trapped in her own brain. So a lot of the game has to deal with mental health. and
Okay.
people who suffer from psychosis and like psychotic stuff and
Okay.
like illusions and stuff. So the whole time you're in this Greek mythology and you're fighting and you're learning about different Norse or Greek. I don't know the difference, but
Mhm.
and the entire time you're playing, it's because both of them still kind of do
Ah, son of a bitch.
Odin and Hercules and shit like that. You know what I mean? Or Zeus. Um, so you're good. I don't really know where one falls and the other one stops. You know, type deal. Um,
God, that time.
yeah. So, and the entire game you have you have all these voices in your head, and
Oh
so
man.
you're trying to figure out these puzzles. That's a huge puzzle game, but there is
Okay.
elements of fighting, which is kind of like I guess you would say Dark Souls. Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
It
Okay.
does get very challenging.
Okay. All right.
But the entire time you're trying to figure these puzzles out, you have eerie music and you think something's coming after you, and then the
Mhm.
voices in your head are telling you to look out and
It
watch out. And
sounds like Eternal Darkness a little bit then too for the GameCube.
yeah, maybe
Okay.
I haven't played it, but it's
Eternal Souls, it kind of like fucks with you big time too. Like if you get scared, like there's a scare factor in that. So like the more scared you get, the more fucked up stuff happens in the
mm.
game, and like it gets to the point where even the game gets all buggy and stuff, and it really screws around with like the television and all.
Oh
It's
wow,
pretty wild, yeah.
yeah, it's something like that. But the voices especially if you have a headset on while you're playing it definitely gets to
Oh
you.
man,
And the cutscenes are fantastic. Like the whole game was just really impressive.
cool.
I think it was one of the games that kind of went under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now that the new systems are coming out, and Xbox kind of showed it off as
Mm-hmm.
being like one of their flagships coming out. It
I
is
gotcha. Yeah.
cross-platform. I thought it was exclusive, but
Okay.
I believe it's coming out for every system. But when they showed the new trailer being run on the new Xbox, I was like, wow, that looks really impressive. And I
Okay.
was like, what is this game? And then they're like, oh, it's this one. So I was like, well, it's on Game Pass. So if you have Xbox and you have Game Pass, definitely go pick up Hellblade and
Okay.
try it out. I will tell you this right now, though. The puzzles are really fun. They do get very challenging, but the combat goes from 0 to 60. Like you go from like fighting one guy at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you beat that guy, he disappears. Another guy shows up to like here's 13 guys, and we're not really gonna tell you any of the buttons. It fucking gets. And then as you die, you have this sickness, this plague, and as you
Oh.
die, it keeps growing more and more up your arm. And if
Mm-hmm.
it gets to your brain, the game is over, and you start from the beginning.
Oh wow.
So every time you die, you're like, but you don't know how far it goes up each time. So it's fucking with
Oh.
your head. So when your guy goes, and then there's all these like like wrestling, a false finish, where your character goes down, looks like you're dead, but then you can quick pop back up and keep fighting. So the whole time you're like, oh my god, it's over. No, it's not. Like yeah, the whole time you're trying to combat and you're trying to focus because each enemy has its own style of how do you beat them.
I
Some of them
gotcha.
you have to do a certain thing. There's
Mm-hmm.
some things that work on one enemy don't work on the other, and then they're fighting you at the same time, and and the entire time you're playing the game, you have to memorize this enemy. This is how you beat this enemy. This is how you beat this enemy. This is how you beat this enemy. I have to do this, and this, but now they're all at the same time, and the
Oh
entire time you're
wow.
trying to focus on that. These voices in your head are fucking screaming at you and saying, "Watch out! Look over! Watch out behind you! Oh my God! You're never gonna finish! You're gonna die! And it just throwing all this negativity in your head in your headset while you're trying to focus on the game. It's crazy. It's a really fun game. I don't think Andy would like it. I think it might be a
He'd be
little.
like, can't fucking do it.
He'd be like, "Fuck that."
He'd be like, "Phoom."
Yeah, he'd be like, I'm over this. 'Cause he don't like. First off, he don't like puzzle games, so the puzzle would throw him off. He would hate that
And he'd be
immediately.
like, there's so much going on.
Yeah, it's wacky, but it was a really fun game. I recommend people checking it out. But that's pretty much all I got that I've been
Well,
really
wait a
into.
minute. Wait a minute. I'm going to pull a little bit of this for you. We were playing Streets of Rage 4 on a
Oh
live
yeah,
stream, too.
I mean, we only played it up to like a couple levels.
But
From
still.
what I played, it was fun. I thought
Yeah.
the graphics were fun. I thought it played really smooth. We'll probably, I mean, depending on what time we get out of here, I don't know what time you have work tomorrow. We can play a couple levels if you want.
I've been really hitting it, going to the bed early.
Good.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I need to go to bed earlier." So I'm doing pretty
So
well.
last week were you sick or were you hungover?
Well, yeah. It was bad. That was like the
You
one.
can't be getting fucked up during the week.
That was only that. I know. It's like I thought about. I'm like thinking about. It was like the worst. Like I couldn't shake it off for like 3 days.
Were you at someone's house?
No, my own.
That's bad.
Yeah, I know. I stopped. I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore. No, I really can't. I'm like, no, anymore.
When I wake up and I have really bad acid reflux, I'm like, man, I'm done drinking. I just want to stop drinking and just work
Dude,
out
it
and
was just like
lose weight.
it got to the point where like I was trying to drink like ginger ale and all, and it came up like with the stomach acid, and it like fried my vocal cords. It was bad. I'm like, wow, this is
You
fucking
gotta slow down,
awful.
man.
I know. Now I'm just like, nope.
As he has a beer right here.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
All right.
But
So what do you?
I had a good time when we were playing Streets of Rage. I was hitting you, and you were like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah, because there is friendly fire in that game.
Yeah, and the whole premise of it, if you do get friendly fire, you have a chance to recover your health bar, and also if you're doing special moves, you can recover your health bar that way then too. So it's kind of cool, like incentive to keep fighting and keep going on without deterring from the pace of the game itself. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna be psyched to actually play through the whole game alone or back at it again. Does it actually save where we were at, Tony?
I didn't look yet.
Oh boy. Like, well, we can rip through those levels pretty easy though. But what I watched. Okay, so I watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm. It's on Netflix. Wow. A little bit different than I, expected it to be. It's actually one of the best iterations of Batman's origin story from an article I was reading before. I'm like,
That's the game.
I
That's the game I'm playing now. I'm playing Arkham, Return to Arkham
okay.
series where they remastered the older. I'm playing Arkham Asylum again.
Oh
That's what I'm
boy.
actually playing like earlier today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's just a solid game. I actually picked up a lot of the collectibles in that then too. So
Yeah. So I'm trying to achievement hunt.
that one's pretty good to do. And like the rest of the stuff, like besides the collectibles, you do like the fights and all that, like the different challenges. Those are pretty wild. I didn't do all those challenges, but still though, it's still a pretty fun game. But yeah, very impressive movie back in the day. Very first, I think it was the only Batman animated movie to hit the movie theaters then too, and it actually features um, Andrea Bollier as Bruce's ex fiance,
Okay.
and she plays the Phantasm then. Oh, I spoiled it. Well,
Where'd they go?
95, too late, too
Yeah.
late. But still a solid movie. I mean, it still has Kevin Conroy, and there's a lot of good voice actors in that. Abe Vigoda, Mark Hamill's the Joker, classic. But that was a fun thrill ride. It's about like an hour and a half, roughly about an hour and a half. Um, then I watched a document. I watched a documentary. It was "Struggle: The Life and Lost Art of Sukalski," and this guy was a Polish sculptor. This guy, I'm not even kidding you. He had to blend in with the crowd because way back when he was around, he was pretty much against the Jewish people, and then all of a sudden the Nazis happened.
What is
And
this?
this is a struggle: the life and lost art of Sukalski. This guy's art is like fucking nutty. He used to do like bronze sculptures with like frickin' like some of the bronze sculptures. It's like a hand with like with hawk fingers and all. Like he put some really wacky shit out. Um, his artwork is pretty cool. If you look up Copernicus, like the intricate detail and in the artistry of it. The guy survived all this time, and he was living in um, California, Los Angeles, California. And here there's these guys that were like underground comic book guys that found him, and they were just blown away by like the art and how he actually approached things. Because then like he eventually, it's kind of like, you get your teen angsty ways, and then you grow out of it, and then you kind of level off. That's what he kind of did, but he was like, he died in like 1990, I think, or 1980. It was like in the late 80s or early 90s, and
The documentary is produced by Leonardo DiCaprio and his father.
yeah, I was really impressed by that. It's a really wild documentary. If you want to sit and like look at the art, I mean, it's well worth it for that and what his story is all about. Um, it's a shame that he never really got the recognition that he truly deserved. But then again, you have that the controversy, what he went through and all, and how he was way back when, and well, you know, you don't have that change of heart. So, but I mean, it's still a good documentary. Highly recommend it. I was sitting on that for like, oh my god, about a year or so when it came out. So yeah, definitely that's a good one. Like I said, I played Streets of Rage 4 with Tony. That was pretty fun. Um, I'm trying to think what else that I watched. Oh, a new anime called BNA. It's about this girl that uh, she gets transferred to this city called Anima City, and she meets this White Wolf character, and basically, um, what she's trying to figure out like how she became this. They call them Beast Men, and she follows this White Wolf character, and um, kind of just like builds up on the fact of like who is this White Wolf, and like how is she gonna get treated for this disease of sorts. It's drawn by Studio Trigger, so like if you do like Kill la Kill or any of those other anime produced by Trigger, you're definitely gonna like this one. Very smooth animation, really like it. The voice cast is on point. Really like the voice cast, especially um, the wolf character. I really do like. Obviously, we'll go figure. Golden
Yeah,
Wolf.
the wolf boy over here.
I like that character, those characters, but they really made the
Ben's
wolf
social
cool.
media, everything is fucking wolf something.
Cold Wolf 35. Shut up.
Cold wolf, dirt wolf, fucking lone wolf, fucking hairy wolf, mangy wolf.
No, I add other people that have like the wolf moniker, and I'm like,
What makes you land on the wolf?
I don't know. I thought it sounded cool. I like wolves
Why 35?
because my dad. I didn't know this, but my dad was born on May 25th. His baseball number was 25, so I'm like, I'm 10 plus better than him, so 35.
Only 10 plus?
Yeah.
You set your bar pretty low.
No, come
Is
on.
the scale to 10 or is it to 100?
Like, I don't know. I don't care. Like, I'm a little bit better than him, so I don't care.
So your scale's to 100.
Yeah, and I didn't want to be like
So-
40. I didn't want to be 45. I'd be like, oh, cool, 45.
What about 55?
I don't care for 55. 65 maybe. That's Medicare age, but 75, that sounds pretty cool.
I can't dive into your head sometimes. It just...
I hate when you tell me stuff and I'm like, I have to explain everything why I have to land on the 35.
Because I don't even think you know how to explain it.
You. What's Billy saying there?
He's laughing at you.
Oh, get out of here, Billy Trey. Get the out of here.
Yeah. Wow.
10 better.
Oh my god. So what else you been playing or watching?
Oh boy. I've also been watching this competitive eater called LA Beast. He's from New Jersey, and like his thing is like, have a good day, and like he just fucking sucks at some of these eating challenges. He just like, I think one of the eating challenges was he has like this like 132-ounce beer glass, and he got all these ecto coolers and he added liquid thickener into them to drink like this concoction of like a milkshake to try and drink it all down in one shot. Pukes it all up.
Of course he does.
I know, but it's so hilarious. He thinks he can do it.
Oh.
But that's a funny series, and I didn't really dive into too many games. What was I gonna say? I didn't play that tag battle game since I got it, but I mean, it's funny because they didn't actually log in some of the trophies that I got in from the other game, and I was kind of pissed about that. So I'm like 15% of trophies. I could be at like 25 or 30%, but they didn't mark them, so fuck that game.
Yeah.
So,
all right. What do you got to plug?
what do I got to plug? Well, I'm gonna plug the It's Just Beer guys because and Bangin' Beers.
Are they
because
back together?
The It's Just Beer guys, yeah, they are. And Uncle Dan actually promoted us at the end, even though he sounded like he was in a hallway.
I think they were. I think I didn't get to listen to it yet, but from what it sounds like, they thought they were recording through their mixing board, and they were recording through the onboard mic on the
Yeah, it sounded like it was like an echo, it was like a delay, and then it like went the reverse way in some aspects then too. And that's why I let them know about it. I'm like, yo, like it sounded really weird.
Yeah.
So
I actually got a message from Dan saying when you were just out in New York, when are we going to get together? So that's something we can work out maybe in a week or two. We can take a ride up.
yeah, definitely. I don't certainly mind that. I was really looking that this was like pretty much like that whole trip. That I was really looking forward to doing that.
Yeah. So maybe, well, Dan is coming out what, next weekend?
I think it's next weekend because it's Uncle Dan's birthday. Happy birthday, Uncle Dan.
Yeah.
This weekend, and Harrison's sloop guy, sloop kid.
I was mentioning him while I was in New York.
yeah.
I was at a bar in Cortland, and they had Juice Bomb on tap, and they had, I forget what the other one was. They were both fantastic.
The sloop beers.
Yeah, but I didn't remember which beer was the pardon my French here, the pussy beer. There was a beer that tasted like,
Where we freaked the fuck out.
and it tasted like if you experience when a man and a woman really love each other,
Cunningless.
and he likes to. Never mind.
I already broke it.
Yeah, he.
No filter.
That's what the beer's aftertaste tasted like. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and you, Spive, and I looked at each other, and we fucking lost
we
it.
didn't even speak about it. Like,
Or we looked at each other.
I started giving my
it.
review, and I was like, "Am I the only one who's tasting something here?" And then we all just kind of like, "Oh yeah, this is happening."
Oh, when you said that, I'm like, no way.
Yeah, I called him, and I was letting him know at the bar I was at that it was the bar the
Billy said that was amazing.
Yeah, he said that a while ago. But yeah, his beers, the sloop beers, do really well at this bar.
Yeah. I think it's Harrison's birthday is like a weekend after it. Like Uncle Dan's is the 11th, and then his is the 18th.
Okay.
So yeah. I mean, yeah, we're hopefully Dan will actually come. I'm like, hey, come on, like I don't mind, I don't care.
Yeah.
Stick around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could figure something out.
Yeah.
The only thing I got is when you're watching this back, check out the links in the upper left-hand corner. We got it's hard for me to see on my thing, but you have all of our social media up there: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our YouTube account, and also our Twitch account. So go over and give us a follow. So what we're doing now is pretty much how it's going to be. For some reason, when we try to stream this on Facebook using the Twitch app, it makes me pick a video game. So if you want to pick an old school video game that we have to cheat the system with next week, let us know what it's. I used Maniac Mansion tonight.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so each week we'll pick a different old school video game, and we'll use that as our.
I got a few in the belt.
Yeah, that's what we'll do, and we have to do that with all of our shows. So
Oh my god.
so we'll have to figure out different.
Does it have to be designated to a specific video game, or could it be a movie? Or
Has to be video game
has to be a
for
video
Facebook gaming. Yeah.
Game. Okay.
So technically, we're using Facebook Gaming to stream our podcast on our own platform, which is stupid. It can't just go live on our page.
It's extremely stupid.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's dumb. I hate it. You got to set it to just chatting. I can't. I don't know. You have to show me when I do the cross-platform streaming. It doesn't let me do that on Facebook. It makes you pick a game. But yeah, all right. So check out our channel. We have some cool stuff going on. Thursday night we'll be back here talking about some wrestling. We're 2 weeks behind. We didn't get to record last week because I was on vacation. But that'll do it for Not Cool in High School. If you're watching, that's going to be the end. If you're listening on audio, here is some Look Alive. And we'll see you guys next time. See you later.